Hello, welcome back to 3D drawing for your model railway. Now we've got the majority of this end detail complete, I'm going to start to move around to the side of the wagon and start to add the details onto the side before we can then start to think about maybe the underframe after that. So let's get started on this side frame here, on the side body here. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at is if we get the canvas back onto the side, and we're going to continue the hinge round the corner here, so you can see it's all in line, comes around here, top and bottom. Doesn't really look like there's any rivets on these. I'll try and see if I've got any pictures that are more close up. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's any rivets or anything, they're potentially just welded on. Well, it's just like a strap, so it should be nice and easy here. So create a rectangle, I'm going to do it on the side face here, and I'm going to do it from, it comes from the end of the wagon, so just doing a rectangle, find it in line with the base there, and I'm just going to drag it across like that. Okay, dimension wise it's going to be 0. Actually, if I don't dimension that, if I delete that, we use the constraint, so we'll use horizontally vertically constrain that to the same point in the hinge and the same on that one there. Lengthwise, I'll go for 4.75, it sort of matches the drawing a little bit, and horizontally constrain that corner to that edge there. Okay, so now we'll just extrude this forward slightly. I don't think it needs much, maybe 0.15, it's just giving a bit of relief and profile there. And looking at the pictures, you know, it's quite close and fitted towards the body, so I don't need to come up particularly far. Okay, let's mirror that feature downwards. So select the feature, and the direction comes down. So it's going to be 7.75, which is what we were doing earlier for all the rest of them, and then we need 2 of them. Okay, so that's completed. Okay, so the next thing we'll draw is the chalkboard here on the side. Again, coming to Fusion, you can see that its position is actually on the plan. It actually looks pretty close to where it should be. So I'm going to go with what's here. So we'll create a sketch on the side profile here, just using a rectangle. Drag out to the correct size. Height-wise, let's dimension that. Actually, let's go dimension between the 2 sides. So we'll go for 1.5 millimeters. And looking at the picture, some of them are rounded off, some of them look like they've just had the corners cut off. I think I'm just going to go rounded because I think it looks neater, and obviously once you print it, it's not going to be particularly big anyhow. So that should be 0.75, I think. We'll round that completely. Yep. And we'll do the same on offset. We'll do the fillet on the other corners here. And 0.75. Let's round it up. Let's dimension the length. 4.9. It's getting a little skew there for some reason. Undo that. Undo that dimension. Yeah, for some reason that's skewed up the corner. So we'll just go with whatever its length is when you define it. It seems to still be circular enough for me. Let's dimension the height. 3 millimeters there. And the distance from the end, 2.1. Okay, let's take that dimension off there and dimension between the 2 sides there. Not sure why that radius isn't dimensioned, because it should be. there. Yeah, okay. There. Yeah, I don't know why these aren't dimensioning. There's a little step on it for some reason. Okay, not to worry. What we'll do is we'll leave it as it is. It's fine. Let's go 0.4. I think I'm looking at out. So look on the side. That may be a little bit too much. Let's just reduce that to 0.3. There you go. I think I'm going to go with that there. Okay, so the next one I'm going to add in are these little vents on the side here. I'm just going to do representations of them really. Creating a sketch on the side. Just going to do small rectangles like that. Define the length. That's going to be 1.9. And the thickness of them. Or 0.2. Extrude that into the body, so that's minus 0.2, so it's going to cut in. So the vents, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. Now we could try doing 6 of them, but I think that might be too many for it to spread out. Yeah, if you do 6 of them, it just fills the whole thing in. You could go maybe a little bit longer. Then you would get 6 in, but then they look massively too long. So I'm thinking maybe go for 4 and then spread them apart by 1 millimeter. Again, who's going to be counting these sort of things? So we're going to pattern these. So we'll pattern that feature and the pattern of them downwards, and then direction wise pattern across. Need 2 of them. Okay, we'll do that like that, and then we'll pattern all of that lot again, and direction across again. Need 2 of them. Try and get them as close lined up on these as possible. 10 millimeters come across okay. Okay, the next thing I'm looking at is there's a strip coming along here, which looks like the roof just comes down. It's got like a panel in that's attached to the top. It's not a range strip. It's just one over the doorway. So I'm going to add this onto the side here. If we create a sketch on the side profile, and we come down, so we should be able to just use offset, turn off chain selection, select the profile over the roof and down to the top of the hinge here, and bring that down to say 0.1, and then we can just close that in there and close that. We'll have to come up from the doorway here, put that down from the top, so go up. Okay, if I'm going to snap that to an angle, and then we're going to do horizontal, vertical, constrain that, so that it's going up vertically rather than trying to snap to the end. Okay, I'm now going to select that profile that we just created and extrude that along the body to the other end of what we've just drawn. So to join. So that's given us that strip that goes along the top there. Just turn off, I get a better view of it. Okay, don't worry about the extra line here, that's just where it's going from curved to straight here. It's not going to be different parts. Let's notice we've got extra bodies here, so we're going to get them all to join. Let's just come back in the history here, so edit that feature to join there. I'll come back and I'll fix that in a minute. Edit that feature to join there. Edit the profile sketch, that's fine. Sketch. What's the warning? The body reference is lost. Trying to feature reselect. Just select that profile again. Okay, and then join, and it gets rid of that warning. That's fine. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to draw on is the doorway. So if we again we'll rotate to the front profile. We've only got to draw one of the doors. So let's start with, let's create a sketch. I'm going to do a rectangle from the bottom corner up to, does it go all the way to the roof? Yes, it does. Go all the way up to the roof, like that. I'm just going to do a thickness here. I want the whole strip to be 0.25, so I'm going to do that as 0.125. One that comes across to there. Let's create a length 5.25, thickness 0.25, and then we'll create another one that comes down. Again, we're creating a thickness there 0.25, and then don't think there's one seam that goes across the bottom that we need, no, because the door goes all the way to the floor. So I'm just going to select these three profiles, and then I'm going to extrude them into the body. I think maybe 0.25 again, extrusion depth minus 0.25, make sure it's cutting. That's going to give it a deep enough channel that you'll be able to tell the door's there. Okay, so now we've got doors. Let's look at doing the door hinges. Okay, so see if we've got a close-up picture, but we haven't really got a great picture of the door hinges, if I'm honest. But they don't look like they're particularly big. I'm not going to go into too much detail on them, I don't think. I think I'll just create some sort of square that goes over them. Two profiles here. If we select the body profile, let's have a look at the height of them. So 6 inches down from the top, I think. So we're going to create a rectangle, we're going to bridge the door here. Okay, let's do dimension wise. So let's go 0.75, which means that from the side there should be 0.25, and then it'll be all the way across, will be fine. Dimension from the top down, so 1 millimeter, and then we'll create it, so 1 millimeter, 6 inches is probably enough looking at the size of these. Yeah, and they're not even, unfortunately, so we can't just pattern 3 times down. So the second one is sort of halfway between the chalkboard and the hinge. Okay, let's extrude these. I'm going to do 2-sided extrusion. First one's going to go in, make sure it's a join. I'm just going in enough to the body to fill in the gap here. And I'm going to come out let's go 0.25, give it a bit of profile. Okay, and we'll copy that feature downwards. So we're going to want 2 to start with. We're going to come a little bit more than that. 5.5 on the first one. And then we'll do the same again, copy the feature down. 2 of them. We're going to go 9.25, I think. Puts this halfway on those vents. They're a little bit lower maybe. No, I'm going to go with that. Okay, so that's the door hinges. Again, they're not particularly detailed. It's in Engage. If you want to go into 00, by all means, if you want to add a bit more detail, go for it. Interestingly, the door bumpers aren't symmetrical either, so we can't draw those at this point. You see this one's quite close to the edge of the door as this one's offset slightly. So looking really, I don't think there's anything else symmetrical here that we can add in. Even the roof vents aren't symmetrical, so we can't do those yet either, which is a shame. So I think we're sort of getting to the point where we're sort of done with the body, I think, for the moment. Obviously there's details like the destination boxes here that we've got to add on. But I think the rest of the main details are complete above the underframe. So yeah, I'm going to leave this video at this point here. Hope you've enjoyed watching. And we'll come back on the next one. I think I'll start on drawing the underframe.